messages of love and sympathy and support for the people of Christchurch, and particularly for the communities that have been on the receiving end of this attack. Our hearts go out to all the victims, their families, and of course everyone else who has been affected. And at the same time, we acknowledge the extraordinary bravery and courage of our police, our first responders, and all those that are now supporting the victims of this attack. Today, our focus is very much on providing practical support to the families. There is a lot for them to be going through, and our hearts are with them, but our practical support needs to turn to them as well. And then there is the wider community of Christchurch. We've all been affected. Everyone has been touched in some way, shape or form. And the messages that I've had overnight have been a desire to come together as a community and to reach out and offer solidarity to our community, our Muslim community, a part of our community. We are a very diverse city in Christchurch. We have welcomed new people into our city. We are talking about people in the city who have lived here for years and years and years. They are our friends, they are our neighbours. We embrace them at this time, and I know that I speak for all of the people in Christchurch when I say how much we want to come together to support them. So we want to work together with those communities to ensure that we do this appropriately and in support, and give them the time and the space that they need to deal with the immediate issues at hand. We still have injured people in the hospital. So we will find a time and a place for us to come together and to share that sense of grief and loss, but also to share that sense of love, compassion and support that we feel for these communities. The next thing is that people have said that they want to lay floral tributes or other tributes in memory and in respect of those who have died. So we have made available the Botanic Garden wall along Rolleston Ave opposite the Arts Centre. The reason we chose that place is because it's close to the hospital, very close to the hospital, and so there is a direct connection with the people whose lives have been lost. And we know that the police still have cordons on the two mosques, and we do want to ask people to stay away from those places. We will ensure that those tributes are made available to the community at an appropriate time. The next thing that has come through is a strong desire also to contribute money. There are people who are offering financial support that want to help out. I know that Victim Support have set up an immediate helpline fund for supporting the family members, the victims of this terrible attack. And the Christchurch Foundation, which has been recently established, will also set up a fund, because it won't just be for the immediate aftermath of what we've experienced in the city, but it will be about rebuilding communities, rebuilding what has been lost, and ensuring that the communities are able to be well supported into the future. And that will be announced by the Christchurch Foundation this morning. And all of the flags are flying at half-mast on our council-owned buildings today and until further notice. This is an expression of our civic support for the communities and the loss that have been experienced. And many events at the weekend have been cancelled as well. Some of them will be known to you already. The cricket test at the Hagley Oval between New Zealand and Bangladesh, which I think is a powerful statement of the support from both sides of you know, the sporting fraternity that were gathered here in the city for an important game to, out of respect, not play that game today. The Brian Adams concert will not proceed either, and all sport at Hagley Park is cancelled until further notice. Thank you.
You talked about practical support. Could you go into more detail about that?
Well, sadly, because of the numbers of people who have been killed, there will have to be a large number of funerals. There are very specific requirements in terms of Muslim funerals, and the council is working very closely with the communities to ensure that there are proper places available for preparation and for appropriate graves to be dug. They are being dug today.
How shocked are you that this happened in your city?
Sorry?
How shocked are you that this happened in your city?
I'm very shocked that it has happened here, but I'm shocked that it's happened in New Zealand. If this had happened in any other city in this country, I would be equally shocked. And I think the reason that we have been targeted, and this was, as I understand it, a deliberate decision to target our city and our country, was because we are a safe city and a safe country, and that was the message. So in my response to the choice of Christchurch by this terrorist individual who chooses to terrorise our city, it is an act of cowardice that he has performed. It is something that will I guess there are no words to describe the revulsion that I feel for the propaganda that he wanted to bring with this, and I will not give voice to that propaganda. His was the voice of hate, and the only way that communities can respond to the voice of hate is to come together in love, compassion and kindness.
Are you concerned about potential extremist movements in Christchurch?
I haven't been so concerned at all. I've obviously only been the Mayor of Christchurch for the last 5.5 years, and prior to that, though, I was a Member of Parliament for over 20 years, and this sort of extremism is not something that we've seen here. But he is not from here. He came here with hate in his heart and intention to kill in his mind. So he did not develop his hatred here. He came here to perform this act of terrorism.
Have you spoken to the Mayor of Dunedin?
No, I haven't spoken to the Mayor of Dunedin. I've heard this morning that on the radio that there is an interest in a property in Dunedin. I've spoken to the Prime Minister. I've spoken to the Minister of Police. I've spoken to the Minister of Civil Defence. So I certainly have reached out. I've received messages from almost every mayor in the city, and actually a number of mayors from around the world have contacted me as well to share their sense of horror and compassion for our city.
This was a very well-planned and coordinated attack, wasn't it? Involved improvised explosive devices in 2 cars that we know of.
I heard the Commissioner of Police correct that statement last night. There were 2 devices in 1 car,
right,
is what he said.
And this was planned over, we're hearing maybe a number of years.
Yes.